I am 107 years old, and every morning I still tackle the New York Times crossword in pen. That's right, in pen, no erasing, no shortcuts. I can also tell you exactly what I had for breakfast last Tuesday. Oatmeal with blueberries, just like every other day. But it's not just about breakfast. I can recite the quadratic formula, tell you the year the Battle of Hastings was fought, and even name every single student I failed during my 45 years of teaching. There were only 6. And yes, I remember every one of them. People often ask me, "Edna, how do you stay so sharp? How do you remember so much?" And they look at me like it's some kind of magic. But let me be clear, it's not magic. It's discipline, effort, and work. The same advice I gave my students for nearly half a century still holds true. If you want results, you have to put in the work. Your brain is not different from anyone else's. You want it sharp? You've got to feed it, challenge it, and give it purpose. Why does this matter so deeply to me? Because I've seen the alternative. My sister Helen, 2 years older than me, fell into dementia in her 80s. I watched her disappear over 10 years. By the end, she didn't even know my name or recognize her own children. This was a woman who could run circles around anyone, remembered every birthday, every grudge, every recipe our mother ever made. Gone, just like that. And it didn't stop there. My best friend Margaret, my cousin Stanley, half the people I grew up with, they all lost their minds before they lost their bodies. And I made a promise to myself right then. That will not be me. I decided I would do whatever it takes to keep my brain alive and active until my very last day. Now, I'm not a doctor. I taught math, not medicine. But I have read the research. I have lived 107 years. And I have watched carefully what happens to those who work at their brains and those who don't. There is a difference, and I'm here to tell you what I've learned step by step from a lifetime of observation and practice. Step 1, use your brain every single day, not just for easy, comfortable tasks. Do things that challenge you, that force you to think, to struggle, to solve. I do a crossword puzzle every morning, the hardest one I can find, the Saturday New York Times level if I can get it, and I do it in pen because I have to commit to my answers. I read real books, not just scrolling through a phone, and I read things I don't agree with because that forces me to question, to reason, to understand. Your brain is like a muscle. If you don't challenge it, it weakens. If you only feed it comfort and ease, it grows lazy. The second thing I've learned over these 107 years is this: don't isolate yourself. I know, people can be annoying. Believe me, after 45 years of teaching teenagers, I know exactly how frustrating humans can be, but you need them anyway. Your brain thrives on interaction, on engagement, on challenges that come from being around other people. Loneliness is dangerous for your mind, truly. When you spend too much time alone, your brain doesn't have to work as hard. No conversations to follow, no subtle social cues to notice, no debates or disagreements to navigate. That's when it starts to soften, to slow down. I make it a point to stay connected. Every Thursday, I play cards with 3 other women, not just for fun, but for the mental workout. I tutor kids in the neighborhood. Their parents bring them to me when they're struggling with algebra. And yes, I argue with my grandson about politics. He's wrong most of the time, but defending my ideas, proving my point, and seeing things from different perspectives, that's how my brain stays alive. You don't have to like everyone you interact with. You don't have to enjoy every conversation, but you must engage actively and thoughtfully. Your brain needs workouts, and social interaction is one of the best. It forces you to think, to respond, to adapt. And engagement isn't just talking, it's learning from others, debating ideas, testing your memory, recalling details, practicing empathy. Every conversation, every exchange is like a set of mental push-ups. The more you do, the stronger your mind becomes. Look at my sister Helen, God bless her soul. She retired at 60 and closed the door on challenge. She didn't read, didn't problem solve, didn't challenge herself in any meaningful way. Television became her world. Comfort, ease, repetition. 10 years later, she couldn't even remember her own name. Coincidence? I think not. Your brain needs other minds to stay sharp. Isolation is easy, it's tempting, but temptation doesn't build longevity, purpose, or clarity. You have to fight for it every day. The third lesson I've learned in my 107 years is this: move your body. And no, I don't mean running marathons. I'm not racing anyone. I'm 107. But movement matters. Every day I walk around the block, I go to the store, I take the stairs when I can. Even small actions count. There's something about physical activity that does wonders for your brain. It gets the blood flowing, increases oxygen, and keeps your mind alert. I don't claim to understand all the science behind it, but I do know the results. I've watched people who spent their days sitting, watching TV, doing nothing, and their minds age faster than their bodies. Meanwhile, those who stayed active physically, even in small ways, stayed sharper, clearer, more alert. You don't need hours in a gym. You don't need to lift weights or run marathons. Just move consistently. 10 minutes of walking counts. Gardening counts. Stretching, household chores, even a little dance in your living room. It all keeps your mind engaged. Movement isn't just about fitness. It's about cognition, clarity, and longevity of the mind. Your brain and your body are connected. If one slows, the other follows. I make it a ritual. Every morning, a short walk, rain or shine. Every afternoon, a few steps around the house or outside. It's simple, but it works. I also combine movement with mental challenges whenever I can. Sometimes I walk while reciting poems or rehearsing my multiplication tables in my head, or even planning the next tutoring session. That's a double workout, mind and body together. Your brain thrives when your body moves, and your body thrives when your brain is active. So, get off the couch. I don't care if it's just 5 or 10 minutes. Move, even if you feel tired, even if you think it's too little. Small, consistent efforts stack over time, and they make a difference you'll notice in your clarity, your energy, and your memory. The fourth lesson I've learned in my 107 years is simple but absolutely critical. Take care of the basics. And I don't mean flashy habits or complicated routines. I mean sleep, food, and consistency. These are the foundations that your brain depends on. Let's start with sleep. I sleep 8 hours every single night. Same bedtime, same wake time, 7 days a week. No exceptions. None of that staying up late on weekends nonsense. Why? Because your brain cleans itself while you sleep. Every day your brain accumulates junk, waste protein, stress, fatigue. But when you sleep, it flushes out the toxins, repairs, and resets. That's science, not opinion. And without proper sleep, your brain can't recover. You will feel sluggish, forgetful, and slow. Now food. Your brain is a machine, and like any machine, it runs on fuel. Eat garbage, and your brain runs like garbage. Eat real, nutrient-rich food, and your mind fires sharply. I stick to vegetables, fish, olive oil, the Mediterranean staples. I'm Polish, so I grew up on pierogi and kielbasa, and I still enjoy them, but I've learned to cut processed junk and sugar. Your brain thrives on quality fuel, and it's never too late to start feeding it well. Sleep and nutrition aren't glamorous, they aren't shortcuts, but without them, nothing else works. You can do puzzles, exercise, socialize all you want, but if your brain isn't rested and fueled, it's like trying to drive a car on empty. And finally, the essence of all this, purpose. You must have a reason to get up in the morning, something that matters. When I retired from teaching, I didn't just stop. I started tutoring. I joined the library board. I stayed active in my community. I needed to be needed. Because when your brain thinks it's not needed, it starts shutting down. It stops working as hard. It relaxes. It gives up. After my husband Walter passed, many people assumed I'd just fade away. That's what widows do, they said, but I refused. I had students to guide, crosswords to solve, grandchildren to correct. I had purpose, and purpose fuels the brain like nothing else. It keeps you alert, engaged, and alive. I've lived 107 years, and I've beaten the odds in ways that matter. But let me be clear, it's not luck. I've watched people who seemed destined for longevity and brilliance, and those who faltered. The difference? Daily choices, repeated for decades. Small decisions consistently made add up. Challenge your brain. Engage with people. Move your body. Sleep well. Eat real food. Have a purpose. That's it. Simple, yes, but it works. There are no shortcuts. My students always asked for tricks, formulas, or secrets. There aren't any. There's just showing up, doing the work every single day, whether you feel like it or not. That's true in calculus, and it's true for keeping your brain alive. I don't know how many years I have left. Maybe a few, maybe more, maybe less. But however long I've got, I'll be here for it all the way, sharp-minded and clear-eyed until the very end. Every crossword I finish, every student I guide, every conversation I have, they all matter. They keep me alive, awake, and thriving. So here's my final message. Your brain is not magic. It's yours to train, nourish, and protect. Choices matter. Effort matters. Connection matters. Movement matters. Sleep and food matter. Purpose matters. Make every day count. Don't wait for tomorrow. Start now. And now, 43. A cross is giving me trouble. Time to finish my puzzle. Go do your homework, and don't forget, your brain, your life, your future, it's all in your hands. Remember, your brain is your greatest asset. Challenge it, move it, feed it, and give it purpose every day. If you found this helpful, like, comment your favorite tip, and subscribe for more wisdom. Now go, do your homework.